Alright, come on in, hit the like button, think about subscribing if you have not already. If you're new here, welcome to the channel, but most importantly, welcome to the Berserker family. So this is my honest opinion / review for the brand new 2025 Netflix crime mystery film called Wake Up, Dead Man, Knives Out Mystery. And this came out this morning on Netflix originally. Exclusive, I mean. But here's the plot. Baffling death inside a quiet church draws into a tense investigation where faith, secrets, and suspense blur as a closed community turns against itself. Here's some of the cast, and there's a lot of big cast members in here. I think this is the third film in the Beyond Black private detective series. I don't remember because I mixed these up with the Murder of the Express franchise with the guy with the big, unique mustache. You know, it's been a while since I remember a lot of these films, and they kind of clash together, so it's kind of hard to keep up. But I believe this is the third. But I completely forgot how fun these are and how funny how Daniel Craig can be in this. Because normally I associate him always with James Bond, kind of serious roles, you know, try that action hero type of guy. Honestly, he felt way more of a goofball in this than normal of what at least I could recall from the last two films. In fact, the film overall was pretty funny even before Craig's character was reintroduced. Surprisingly, it didn't feel like he was the main lead in this one because of how it was written, in which I actually liked about this. It kind of felt like it was like they were focusing on the priest. Okay, I'm just saying. But it was like he was a second main character because obviously this franchise is about him in a way. It's kind of his thing with this film, his character. I mean, not necessarily Daniel Craig, but yeah. So it kind of felt refreshing that they went around a good personal part of the film was priest-wise, and even then it continued on that, and he was just more of a outsider type of thing to it. Now, I am personally not into the idea of religion. That's my business. That's your business is your business, and I have no personal opinion either way on it. However, the idea of from the writing standpoint, I actually really liked how they wrote the priest stories, journal, and moral compass. As that being said, I personally think the overall film was a bit too long, in my opinion. It comes out at 2 hours and 26 minutes, I think. Now, yes, I technically have a bias towards films at this point that are 2 hours and a half to 3 hours longer than they should be, but that's mostly because of the fact that the stories tend to not always be anything other than stretched out. And I kind of felt like it was yeah, it kind of felt like it had, I don't know, I wouldn't say filler, but I would say that it definitely felt, in order to get to the conclusion, it felt like there was a lot in there to get to there. But the story was still good, it was still fun. Unfortunately, I can't really compare to the last two, you know, when it comes to the story quality, because I honestly don't remember, and it's been so much, it's been such a confusing year or so, and then so many films and stuff I've been watching since the last one, which I believe was also on Netflix. I could be wrong, but yeah. So they did a good job with setting up the two different priest characters, in which both actors' performance was a big part of that. I mean, Josh Brolin is always gives his all fantastic performance in general, but also playing an intimidating character. And I don't recognize the other one, but he was fantastic as well. Now, more I think about it, I kind of seem like a little bit on top of my tongue that he seems familiar, but I don't know what else. Excuse me, what else he's been in. But here's my rating, and I'll come up with my final thoughts. This was definitely a fun film, without a doubt. The actors' acting of the side characters was specifically Kerry Washington. I normally don't have that too of a big an issue with her. I just think she's not that good in general. And I know that's kind of comparing because I believe her father is Denzel Washington, the GOAT. But it's kind of like her acting is it's like she's playing the same person every time, but at the same time it's like very dull. So it's not like it's like she's fun. She's kind of dull, and I try to accept the acting for what it is, unless it's like really horrible, like Kristen Stewart. But it's just like it's getting old, and she definitely was I hate to say it, but the worst part of this film. I wasn't believing anything, and I didn't really care for her character. Even though she was like a side character, but I definitely had better likage, I guess, with Ryan, not Ryan Reynolds, Jeremy Ritters or something, whatever his name is. I forgot. He had recently almost died in a you know who I'm talking about, the guy that almost died at he was Hawkeye. Let's go with that. But it was very entertaining. I think if you have watched the first two, then I do recommend this. But other than that, that's up to you if you wish to check out from the beginning or not. Even though technically you don't necessarily need to, in my opinion, because I feel like each film is separate, type of thing. Even though they have a little bit of stretch off, or whatever we call it, to a little bit of something from other ones. But it's like most of the story in here is not really necessarily connected to the other one. It's kind of like their own film again. So, but as always, I did like it. But leave your thoughts down below, what you guys think. Yeah, so remember, I love you all. Please stay safe. Spread the love most importantly. Skull.